All right, just to make you feel better on a Monday afternoon, it's actually kind of pretty when you're looking at it from afar. This is another live view from New Jersey right now. We're seeing the effects of that tremendous blizzard that just went all the way up through the Northeast there. You can see that, there's some hardy folks up there in New Jersey, but even they ain't out in this right now because it is pure misery up there. We joke about it, but man, that even gets into a dangerous situation.
I almost have anxiety looking at that from our storm.
Because we just went through, not that, but it felt like that here.
I did. I was just thinking, how would I drive through that,
You wouldn't.
No more.
That's why nobody's out there.
Man, imagine Central with that kind of snow. Forget it.
It's just, it blanketed up there. We were talking earlier, Providence, Rhode Island got 32 inches of snow in this storm, which is just stunning.
3 feet, and the equivalent, sometimes the way we measure it in rainfall, the equivalent of still 3 inches of rain, which is a lot. The record amount of rain we had on Valentine's Day was only 1.5 inches.
Okay.
So it's twice that storm, only with snow. So good luck with that. All right, let me show you right now. There's what the storm looks like. And as we've been talking about, just a huge storm, a large cyclone, what we call a bomb cyclone. Yes, it looks like a tropical swirl, right? It looks like a tropical system, except for it is not. It's extratropical. Similar activity, but not that. For us here, the jet stream is over us. We've got high pressure, so this is nice. All we had today was a little cloud cover move in from the north and west. Hey, we'll take that. And temperatures started chilly this morning, but in the 30s, right up to around 60 this afternoon. Looking at UNT Denton, looking like spring, feeling like spring. Yes, there's some turf out there, so that's supposed to be green. But it does look better out there, 58 right now. What you need to know, we're going to warm up nicely, even 80s in 2 days here. I think by Wednesday, we'll have a lot of spots hit the 80s. Then elevated fire danger returns with the windy conditions. Something we have to watch, unfortunately, this time of year is that fire danger. And then could we see some changes next week? Maybe some relief, maybe some rainfall, which we've been short on. Chilly night, though, tonight. Upper 30s for spots. McKinney, 38. Fort Worth, 38. Surrounding spots, more rural areas, going to be colder. Just prepare for that tonight, but not seeing any freezing temps on the board. Coming up, we'll talk about this. Along and west of 35, including DFW, fire danger returns tomorrow, takes a skip Wednesday, returns on Thursday. We'll be watching that. We'll have more in your forecast coming up in 10 minutes, Jason.
All right, always something to look out for here in North Texas. Thank you, Colin. With the Texas wildfire season ramping up once again, some Texas fire stations are teaming up with an Australian-based company now, trying to mitigate risk using artificial intelligence. Travis County is the first in the country to adopt this program. Kelsey Sanchez of our Austin station talked to one fire chief about how this might help.
Using AI and some machine learning, we've identified an area within our area that we wanted to simulate if a fire started in any one of these green dots.
With a touch of a button, Travis County Rescue Fire Chief Ken Bailey has the future in his hands.
Yesterday was a high fire danger day, so we wanted to run a simulation to see where are larger fires. We were at most risk to have a larger fire. And the benefit is where we see the red is where our larger fires would occur.
Bailey is showing us the map of an area in Austin where, through an AI simulation, predicted where fires could spark and how many acres it could burn.
We have a fuel layer that's a national fuel layer that we can modify. And then we plug in the current weather or predicted weather to run the simulation.
The program is through a membership with an Australian-based company, FISI, specializing in wildfire mitigation.
I think where our tool really shines in this kind of context is it shows you where those areas are that you need to be extra aware of in a particular operational period, or maybe as much as like a week to a week and a half away from you.
Gregory Vigneault with FISI says part of this design allows them to plan ahead.
We're looking at terrain to see how the terrain will influence the fire. And we're looking at vegetation, or what we call fuels, that the fire will be burning in. We're looking at the type of vegetation that exists there and the load.
Bailey says he's aware of the speculations that come with using AI, and running through simulations in the last months has given them a better understanding. But they do their due diligence to make sure the information matches.
I don't see any downside. Now, I don't think that we should take it at its word. I think it's incumbent upon us to make sure these things are matching with what's on the ground.
In Travis County, Kelsey Sanchez, KVUE News.
All right, something to think about this time of year for sure as we go through the next couple of months. Meantime, let's look out over just the next couple of minutes and hours at the traffic rush here on the rush hour on the way home today. Stacia Wilson here with us, keeping an eye on that.
It is definitely a little bit busy out there. A few problems along 635. We also have some problems in Tarrant County. I'll start with 635 at La Prada. Unfortunately, this is not cleared. Still down to one lane there, and that's causing a backup that extends almost all the way to Garland. So just checking out that location in your map. Right around the Mesquite area is where that collision happened. So just north of the I-30 635 interchange. And then you have traffic that is backing up. So I guess I should clarify that. Since it happened in the northbound lanes, it's really truly backing up through Mesquite, just south of the Garland area. Now, another problem we're seeing along 635, this is affecting the eastbound side of LBJ at Plano Road. And it looks like this one just cleared. So fortunately, that traffic that we're seeing heading toward Garland, eastbound 635 from 75, that major red should be starting to fade. Also watching a problem along Loop 12. This is kind of hard to see. It's Loop 12 northbound, right there at the Elm Fork portion of the Trinity River. Keep in mind the southbound lanes of Loop 12 through this stretch in Dallas, that's typically where we see the most congestion. But now you have the northbound side also slow as a result of that collision. Loop 820 westbound at Azle Avenue. This is in northwest Tarrant County, just south of Saginaw. You can see one lane is blocked, and that is causing a backup there. Jason?
In an emotional message released after his death, actor Eric Dane reflected on his marriage to actress Rebecca Gayheart and told his daughters, Billy and Georgia, that they are his heart and his everything. Dane died on Thursday after announcing last April that he was battling amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, better known as ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. While some treatments may help to slow the progression of it, at this time there is no cure for ALS. Today, Mandy Gaither has some red flags to look out for and explains why this disease continues to confound researchers.
It became more internationally known in 1941 by the beloved baseball player for which it was named, but ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, was first identified in 1869 by a French neurologist, and still today, there's no cure.
Quite honestly, we are yet to completely understand how it comes about, what causes it, what are the drivers.
Dr. John Morin with Cleveland Clinic says a small minority of ALS cases are genetic, but often there's no clear cause, making it hard to figure out a way to prevent it or reverse damage and stop disease progression. Red flags include arm weakness, inability to use your hands or legs like you used to, foot slapping or foot dropping, which leads to stumbles and falls and affects gait. It can also begin in your head, neck, or face area with difficulty speaking, controlling saliva, chewing, and swallowing. There could also be breathing issues, shortness of breath when you lie flat, causing you to lean forward to breathe better.
Especially if there's not a lot of pain or sensory symptoms like numbness, tingling, burning, prickling, that should be brought to your doctor's attention.
Morin says since symptoms appear in a sporadic or piecemeal fashion, that can make them easier to dismiss. The CDC says most people with the disease live from 2 to 5 years after those warning signs develop.
Quite often, the diagnosis takes more than a year or so in the United States. So that diagnostic delay also adds a challenge to this disease.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Some other health news now. A powerful anesthetic is being used in a new way. We're talking about ketamine here. Traditionally given for pain and for surgery, but now helping some teenagers battling treatment-resistant depression. 18-year-old Brenna began low-dose ketamine therapy 5 years ago after struggling with anorexia, depression, and suicidal thoughts. Her family said months of traditional care just wasn't working, and her condition was only getting worse. Under close medical supervision, doctors prescribed ketamine off-label.
Since I've started ketamine, I've gained like 20 pounds. All of my symptoms are very well controlled now. I no longer qualify for having anorexia or PTSD or anxiety or depression.
Now in college, Brenna returns for maintenance treatments every 6 months. Now, doctors caution that research in teenagers is limited. They warn the drug must only be administered in monitored medical settings. A Dallas institution with a history of long lines and late nights is shutting down now. Why this weekend marks the final fry.
It's been a long time since I've held one of these. To the left.
Yeah.
To the right.
Nice.
Oh God, I remember.
Oh, she's trouble out there on that dance floor. Coming up, we're going to take a look at Dia Wall, formerly of 4 p.m. show fame, but she has moved on, left me behind, and she's showing off her North Texas ties to her new Daybreak team members. I hope they appreciate her like I did. Even I might learn some new things about Dia watching this. You won't want to miss it. Stay with us.